This stuff here, Yerushalmi Bikkurim, in the article Hosva edition, we're on Daf Chavei Ralph Mamash at the top. There's a header. In the Vilna, there is no header, and we start with the next words. Rabbi Huna Boy, and that is 7 lines of Yud Beis and Rav at a period. So Rabbi Huna Boy, you're supposed to not bring your Bikurim before Shavuos. You brought your Bikurim before Shavuos. This is the Gro's interpretation, by the way. You brought your Bikurim before Shavuos, and you put it down, and you left. So the question is, well, actually, you left is the next line. Take that back. You put down your Bikurim before Shavuos. So does that halacha work even though it's Mechus Zman? By Korban, obviously, it's Mechus Zman, so you don't see the Korban. I just say it doesn't. No, you put it down, and later on after Shavuos it becomes effective. So the Gemara qualifies. There's only a question when he took them back. Was you did halacha before Shavuos, and then you took them back, and you did the Kriya after Shavuos. Maybe the Kriya is not relevant right now, obviously, but we assume you did it properly. But the halacha before Shavuos, does that count with the Kriya afterwards? Basically, we're saying, I guess the Lambda says that what determines the status of Mechus Zman, the halacha or the Kriya. So I'm going to tell you, it's only if you took them back and leave them there. If you left them there from before Shavuos to after Shavuos, it's as if you put and it's as if you did that after Shavuos, and that's for sure good. Asked a different question. Said, okay, there's some Mechus Zman before Shavuos. Let's say put down during the day before Shavuos. That's one question. That's question. Just Rabbi Yehuda's question. Rabbi Yona's question is, well, there's another Mechus Zman. You did it at night. When I did it at night, is that also effective or not? And I guess Rabbi Tanya could have said the same thing about leaving night. If left it and the next day, it'd be okay. But in any event, the Gemara doesn't resolve either question. Okay, now the Gemara goes on to the next issue, which says here, Tanya, we learned, you put the Bikurim down in the southwest corner before HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Time Yicham Mekeren Jom Mitzvah Put in the southwest corner. Lifnei Hashem. So it says Lifnei Hashem. Lifnei Hashem seems to be on the west, towards the Kodesh Kadosh, towards the Ula. Yocham Amar, so it's in the west. So we do it on the west side. Tamal Pnei Mizbech. It says Pnei Mizbech, which means Pnei Mizbech is the south side of the Mizbech. If Pnei Mizbech is Pnei Mizbech, you do it completely on the south side. Tamal Pnei Hashem. It says Pnei Hashem from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is the west side. So Shnei Machishim Zeh. There's no Kosav Shlishi Shachriya B'Neim. So we reconcile it by Haketza. B'Yishon Keren Jamis Ma'avis. You bring it close to the southwest corner. The Gra changed the gears here from B'Droma Shel Keren to B'Chuda Shel Keren, which seems to be more in line with what the Gemara is saying. So you put it down there at the point of the corner. Okay, now we have a header in the art scroll. The next Gemara, he's Tinshu Makrim B'Chulei. They made a takana that everybody who comes should have the parsha read to them, and they should repeat after the person who read it to them. So there's a guess here, ain't any other P Echad, but the Rashi and Gra take it out because that would sound like it's an actual daraisa, but rather what it should say is the following. And below od elish samchul mikra vanisav amarta, and here we'd add the words instead of tiny any other piacha, just ain't any other piacha. So we take the line before and put it here. And what it's saying is that to reading the whole line together, below elish samchul mikra, they made an asmachta. They said, okay, we'll bring you a way to remind you or hints of this from the Torah itself, even though it's not the Raisa. They said, Aniya means to respond. So therefore, even though really you respond means something slightly different, right? It means like responsive reading. I say something, you say something else, and here we're repeating it, but it's the same principle of somebody saying something and you saying something after them. So that's the smachta they made. Vanisa Marta, that somebody else should read it to you and that you repeat after them. Okay, now then there's another head in the article here. The cluster show kesef. It said you bring the Bikurim in silver baskets. So you bring them in silver plates. And this is really a fascinating connection that Yerushalmi makes to Yerushalmi Megillah Perek Dalet. Yerushalmi Megillah Perek Dalet says that if a prayer during laning, the old days used to do targum. They used to lane and translate down Aramaic. So now Gemara says that targum is not makiv. You don't have to do targum. All right, we don't do targum nowadays. But what if a person actually made a mistake during the targum? So you have to go back. So, and the Gemara says, Rabbi Yirmiyah, doesn't have machlekes, but chadamar mechazer mana, right? We don't say you go make a person go back if he translates tena in the Mikra Bikurim as mana, as vessel, and he has to go back and say sala, which means a basket. So it seems that he's saying, well, actually, let's go on because I don't know if he said it yet. Charad Amar, the other said, mechazer, you have to go back. Petim Yarkon, somebody translates a matzo sumroim yachlu, that they eat the Bikurim Pesach with matzah mora. If he translates Petim Yarkonim, cakes and matzah with vegetables. That Amar Petim Morim, he has to say Petim with Morim, has to say cakes and matzah with morars. We don't know who said which. What statement was made? Rabbi Yoina said Rabbi Yirmiyah, which person said you have to go back and say mana, and the other which said you have to go back and say Petim Yarkonim. From that which Rabbi Yoina asked here, whether you're allowed to bring Bikurim in place of silver, have a omer the mechazer mana. It must be that he made you go back and said mana. The omar says sal with a hay, it should say sal with an aleph going to grow, Aramaic. So he made him say sala. So Rabbi Yohanan, that's Rabbi Yohanan asked a question here. He asked the translation of tena is sala. So does it mean specifically a basket, or does it mean any type of container? Because if he would have translated mana would have been acceptable, so he would have said for sure any type of container. But since translation is not acceptable, that's specifically to be sala, that's why it's asked the question whether it could be a plate as well. Now it says, Pinchas Amar Mechazer Patme B'nei Turim D'Amar Turim B'nei Turim. So the Gra changes gears to his here. Pinchas says you go back. If somebody translates Petime Bar Turim, the person translates Par Ben Bakar as fatted cows, sons sons of oxen. You have to say Tor Bar Toreh, which is actually the way Uncle's translated. So that's the way that we read it. Again, maybe it's going to Greer Gross Gear says it. No mention that. Tor Bar Toreh. You can't translate Par Ben Bakar as Petime Bar Toreh. You have to translate as Tor Bar Toreh. Okay, there it says the next Mishnah. When you adorn the baskets of the Bikurim, you can do it even with, from species which are not from which Bikurim are not brought. Apples and oranges. You can adorn the baskets so things that out beyond the Shivas Aminim. Like Shivas says no, it can only be with the fruit of Shivas Aminim. Rabbi Shimon says there are three different measures, three different halachas by Bikurim. Bikurim, the Bikurim themselves, with Tosefes Bikurim, and adding on to Bikurim, the Eater Bikurim, and the adornment of Bikurim. So Tosefes Bikurim is to add when you add on Mimamino from its own species, which would be for sure Saminim. Bita Bikurim, the adornment of the Bikurim, that is which is obviously a hit or mitzvah, that can be done even with She'eno Mino. And the difference in halacha is Tosefes Bikurim. What you add on to Bikurim is the considered part of Bikurim. It's only eaten by a Kohen star. If it's not, time becomes also to eat, just like Bikurim themselves. And if an Aretz brings additional Tosefes Bikurim himself, the Kohen does not set aside for them the Mai. It's like the Bikurim themselves, which are part of Minat Mai. Eat the Bikurim Chai B'Mai. A Kohen accepts Bikurim from an Aretz on the fruit, which is the Eater Bikurim, which is distinct with the Bikurim themselves, which is why it can be Shein Amino. It's Chai B'Mai. It says, Amar Rabbi Yossi. Everybody agrees that you can bring the Eater Bikurim from Chutz La'aretz. why is that? Shemi Adam Torah Shirim Bikurim B'chutz La'aretz. Nobody makes a mistake to say that you bring Bikurim from Chutz La'aretz. So therefore, you can bring the Ita Bikurim from Chutz La'aretz and not afraid that that's going to cause an issue. Ma Pligi. Where's the Malchus Ammon Moav? They're bringing from Ammon and Moav. Man Amachim Bikurim Chutz Shivas Aminim. The Jews say bring Ata Bikurim from. Not from Shivas Aminim, from apples and oranges. So we're not going to learn anything from Ita Bikurim. Those are going to make a mistake to derive from that. Machi Bikurim. So you bring also Me'am Moav. Man Shiva he's afraid we're going to make a mistake and think that who let you bring Ita Bikurim from apples and oranges, you're going to think those are Chayiv and Bikurim. So then a match is Bikurim Me'am Moav. We don't let you bring Ita Bikurim from Ammon Moav either. Lest people come to make the mistake and say that you bring Bikurim from Ammon Moav from Eber Yarde. Amray said, everybody agrees. Everybody can see Bikurim Ammon Moav. No, you can't bring Bikurim from Ammon Moav. I'm telling them, we're going to make a mistake and say, Ever Yarden is Chayv in Mikro Bikurim. Mapli B'chutz La'aretz. Can you bring Ita Bikurim from Florida, from California? Man Machi is Bikurim B'chutz Shivas Aminim. Man roads you can use other than Shivas Aminim. Machi is Bikurim B'chutz La'aretz. Also bring Ita Bikurim from Chutz La'aretz. Man Enes Machi is Bikurim Shivas Aminim. Man roads you can only bring Mata Bikurim from the Shivas Aminim. Holds a Machi is Bikurim B'chutz La'aretz. You can't bring it from Chutz La'aretz. So he is, in fact, concerned that people are going to make the mistake and bring Bikurim from Chutz La'aretz. And that brings us to the top of Chavav Amrav. So we'll stop here for today. Much shorter than yesterday.